Monkey Mondays, where we only cover the facts. A city nestled alongside the Snake and Payette Rivers in Payette County, Idaho, USA. It's strategically positioned along US Route 95 in the Treasure Valley of southwest Idaho. Situated approximately 50 miles west of Boise on the Oregon border, it is an integral part of the Ontario micropolitan area. Renowned for its apple orchards, the city proudly embraces the Monkey, the Big Apple of Idaho. As of the 2020 United States Census, Fruitland is home to a population of 6,072 people residing in 2,180 households and 1,286 families. In a significant event during a warm summer evening in 2021, Fruitland, Idaho captured global attention not for its apple orchards, but due to the disappearance of 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. The incident, which unfolded on a notable summer evening, drew widespread interest worldwide. Michael, with a penchant for digging in the dirt, rocks, and gold, mining and enjoying family moments, playing Minecraft, and engaging in constructive activities, his interests extend to astronomy, where he finds joy in stargazing. His preferred toy includes monster trucks, Hot Wheels, power trucks, excavators, construction and vehicle toys, Legos. Michael's favorite movies include The Mandalorian, Spider-Man, and Batman, reflecting his love for superheroes. His reading choices include books like Harold and the Purple Crayon, Legos books, and I Love You More. The park where sliding and swinging bring him delight ranks amongst Michael's favorite destinations, cherishing memories of his first visit to the Oregon coast. He revels in camping experiences with pizza, macaroni and cheese, zebra cakes, and chocolate chip cookies, topping his list of favorite foods. As a Seahawks fan, Michael recalls memorable moments of camping in the Whitman Forest, discovering crystals and rocks, learning to prospect for gold, and enjoying four-wheelers with his grandpa. Aside from outdoor pursuits, Michael relishes visits to Roaring Springs, playing mini golf, and engaging in activities like water parks, laser tag, video games, and bowling with his family. Always eager for new adventures, he enjoys spending time outdoors with friends and cultivating plants. On July 27, 2021, Brandineal, Michael's mother, awakens with gratitude, recognizing it as her final working day before a well-deserved break. Anticipating quality time at home with her energetic son, affectionately nicknamed Monkey, Brandy bids a farewell, leaving Michael in the care of his devoted father, Tyler Vaughn. Despite the initial excitement, a heart-wrenching turn of events unfolds that evening. Brandy's promise of a few days off to play games and spend time with Michael takes a tragic turn. A call around 4 p.m. brings news that Michael is engrossed in video games and is eagerly awaiting his mother's return. However, a few hours later, Brandy receives a call that shatters her world. Tyler, having checked on Michael, discovers his disappearance. Alarmed, he contacts Brandy and then the police and informs them that Michael is missing. A frantic search with neighbors and law enforcement desperately scouring the neighborhood. CCTV footage around 6 p.m. reveals Michael in a blue Minecraft t-shirt, blue shorts, and flip-flops, knocking on the doors throughout the neighborhood. His interaction with neighbors raises concerns as he stops at familiar houses, yet he remains unaccounted for. The investigation shifts toward the possibility of abduction, given the close-knit community and the inexplicable absence of Michael. Despite knocking on friends' doors, authorities appeal for information to locate Michael, but as the search intensifies, the young boy remains missing, leaving the family and community in anguish. Brandy Neal explains the activities of the day Michael went missing.
It was July 27th, 2021. I went to work That day at 12:30 p.m., I had worked about 8 days straight. I promised him that morning that I was going to have a couple days off. I went to work. He was here with Tyler, his baby sister, and his older 2 siblings. And it was a summer day. They were playing outside. The other 2 were on their computer and phone because, they're teenagers. I called on my lunch break a little after 4 o'clock. Tyler had put baby sister down for a nap, and they were in the living room. Monkey was playing the Nintendo Switch. It was a quick call because I wanted to eat, and I got a call at work at 7 o'clock, and Tyler couldn't find Michael. And it said, check under the bed back by the wall. And I was dealing with a customer at the time, so I just put my phone in the pocket and stayed on my phone. And then I picked up the phone, and I said, was he there? And he was like, I can't find him anywhere. And he was screaming and trying to find him. And I went and grabbed my purse, and I ran out of the store, and I drove as fast as I could home. I heard the fear in his voice. And then when I drove in, there was police, and neighbors were out looking everywhere. And the next thing I know, we can't find him anywhere. Everybody, the entire town was here searching. There was no sign of him whatsoever. They searched all night. They had dogs. They had helicopters. And there's no sign of him. They've been searching this whole time, and there's still no sign of him.
Brandonshirtliff account, in his words, of July 27th, 2021, the day Michael Vaughn went missing. JLR investigates November 25th, 2022, 5 days before Brandon was named a person of interest.
Woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee, and then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere, by the Karcher Mall. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene. Mm-hmm. And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrien, and her, but he said, my family's here, I want to see him, so I'm going to go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them, or lunch with them real quick, and then give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you guys come back and get me. And then after that, me, Adrien, and Sarah went to Applebee's, where we dropped him off there. We're bored, just kind of driving around the mall, and we didn't know what to do, so I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water. And then during that time, after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrien, me and Sarah. We just went over to a pawn shop, I think, just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit. And then I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad, I think.
That's Adrien, right?
Right, yes, sir. And then I think he bought one there. We went to the pawn shop, bought an iPad, and then came back and we were just chilling. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there, we go back, and then that's how it goes. we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughn, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael?
Yes, sir. A Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river.
Searching for Michael?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7.
Right at 7. What gas station?
There's the Chevron right there just up from their house.
Brandonshirtliff's timeline of July 27th, 2021, the day Michael Vaughn went missing. Number 1, woke up at their Wondra home. In the morning, woke up, had breakfast, watched TV, and drank coffee. Number 2, go to Nampa. Brandon, Sarah, and Adrien leave to go to Nampa, Idaho, so Adrien could visit family near the Karcher Mall. Drove a little 2016 Toyota Corolla. Number 3, hanging out somewhere. We went and did kind of a YouTube video trying to make a music video and kind of like a car crash scene. Number 4, Popeye's Nampa. Sarah took Brandon to lunch here, got him a chicken sandwich and a soda. Number 5, Applebee's Nampa. Sarah drove to Applebee's where she dropped Adrian off so he could see his kid and his ex-girlfriend. Number 6, driving around the mall. Drove around the mall for an unspecific amount of time. Number 7, water bottle, Kuna, Idaho. No, got bored of driving around the mall waiting for Adrian, so Brandon drove to his mother's home with Sarah just to get a water bottle and fill one up for him to bring to the Wandra's house, stating, because I did not like their water. Number 8, Applebee's Nampa. Picked up Adrian. 9, pawn shop. They looked around and Adrian bought an iPad. 10, Macy's. Brandon says they went to Macy's and shopped around for clothes a little bit and also playing around on their iPads, goofing off. Number 11, the Wandra's house. When he first found out Michael was missing, he said, neighborhood on high alert. It said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. Brandon's mother home. Number 12, towing the car at 6 or 7 at night. Number 13, Chevron gas station. Had the car again, says he was there at 7 p.m. at the Chevron station. Says this is when he finds out Michael was missing. Bought a gallon of milk and got gas. Number 14, searching. Drove around after we got out of the pickup. Tried to look for Michael in the field. Example of a disorganized timeline. Imagine if someone is telling you about their day, but instead of going from the morning to the evening in a logical order, they're jumping around, going back and forth. It's like it's trying to follow a story that keeps changing its order. In our case, the person being interviewed, Brandon, isn't telling the story of what happened in a clear sequence. We're going back to a certain times, adding details, and it's getting a bit confusing. A clear and organized timeline helps us understand events better, but when things are all jumbled up, it raises questions about how well they resemble or want to tell the story. Brandonshirtliff's account of July 27th, 2021, the day Michael Vaughn went missing. JLR Copyright investigates November 25th, 2022. 5 days before Brandon was named a person of interest.
Couldn't have done it. Now, let's go back to that day Michael went missing, right? So,
Yeah.
that morning, where were you all at on July 27th, 2021, the day Michael was reported missing? Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house. And we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughn, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup.
From the Wandra's house on Red Wing Street to the Chevron station near their house.
And tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out, So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And
what time was that?
That was earlier in the day after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee. And then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere, by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all. I just know that he was Adrian and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's. Where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the Popeyes restaurant.
Who bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or who paid?
Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her, but he said, my family's here, I want to see him, so I'm going to go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them, or lunch with them real quick, and then give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you guys come back and get me.
Yeah.
So we did that, and in the meantime, me and Sarah...
Drive number 2 from Popeyes in Nampa, Idaho to Applebee's in Nampa, Idaho. 6 miles and 11 minutes.
We're bored just kind of driving around the mall, and we didn't know what to do, so I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
Yeah.
And then during that time,
Drive number 3 from Applebee's in Nampa, Idaho to Kuna, Idaho. 15.5 miles and 23 minutes.
after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house where they do their taxi business.
The drive back to Red Wing Street in Fruitland, Idaho from Nampa, Idaho was 37.7 miles and 37 minutes.
All right, so where was Stacy during all of this?
He was back at the house.
So Stacy said, you think Stacy stayed home all that day? Stayed home?
We left him there at the house. I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was anyone else there with him?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone at that point. And that was before we went to tow.
And they had dogs and cats there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacy's there. You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there, we go back, and then that's how it goes.
Well, what about the afternoon from the mall to you going back to the neighborhood? Did you guys go anywhere else? Stop anywhere else?
We just went over to a pawn shop, I think, just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit. And then I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad, I think.
That's Adrian, right?
Right, yes, sir. And then I think he bought one there. We went to the pawn shop, bought an iPad, and then came back and we were just chilling.
So what car were you guys all in?
We were in that little Toyota, 2016 Toyota Corolla.
Okay, what is that? What color is it? White?
It's the blue one.
A blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling me that they were towing your car. You told me earlier in another conversation that your car was being towed by their truck that day.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So where's that come into play here?
I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night.
The drive from Red Wing Street in Fruitland, Idaho to Brandon's mom's house in Kuna, Idaho was 48.6 miles and 48 minutes.
Six or seven. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7.
Right at 7. What gas station?
It was the Chevron right there just up from their house.
Yeah. So where you were seeing people out there looking for Michael, or you were seeing police?
I was just seeing police cars cruising around, and I was seeing a lot of like the neighbors going out in their cars cruising around, and just like the whole subdivision from the left side to the right side. They were all just out, everybody walking around and looking, and flashlights. Search and rescue was there, police, everything.
But how did you know they were looking for Michael?
Because so when we were pulling into the subdivision, Sarah was driving the pickup, and she stopped and talked to the neighbor that was coming down the road the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped right there in the middle of the road, and they both opened their doors and they started talking to each other right there.
Okay. And you told me you never seen Michael Vaughn before in your life prior.
Right. I never met him or his parents ever before. I just know that they're neighbors of where I was staying over there with the Wondras. They live like diagonal.
Yeah. What about the okay. Yeah, I got so many questions. All right. So Adrian, where's he from?
I think he's from California somewhere.
So, but how did he get up there? Like, how did he end up there in Idaho?
He just flew in from California to come see his son and his old girlfriend or whatever.
But where did Sarah meet him? Like, how does she know him?
I don't know. I think he just randomly like called their phone one day from the airport and said, "Can you give me a ride from here to there or whatever?" And that's probably how those two met.
Yeah, because, obviously, Sarah, according to this arrest affidavit, she's claiming that this Adrian guy helped bury Michael in her yard. That's what she said, according to the arrest affidavits, or the neighbors. She also said the neighbor's yard, too.
Right?
So
yeah,
people are wondering, who's Adrian?
Yeah, he's just some kid that came here from California.
Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian allegedly traveled to these locations on the day Michael went missing, July 27th, 2021. They started at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland, Idaho, and traveled to Popeyes in Nampa, Idaho. From Popeyes, they went to Applebee's in Nampa, Idaho. From Nampa, they traveled to Snowbell Road to Brandon's mother's house. After leaving Brandon's mother's house, they returned to Applebee's in Nampa to pick up Adrian. From Applebee's, they went to a shopping mall. Then they stopped at a pawn shop. From Nampa, they traveled back to Red Wing Street in Fruitland, Idaho to the Wondra house. After that, they drove from Red Wing Street to Kuna, Idaho to Brandon's mother's house to get Brandon's car. From Snowmelt Road in Kuna, they returned to Red Wing Street in Fruitland, pulling Brandon's car, using back roads, and passing by Clay Peak landfill. Finally, they traveled to a local Chevron station in Fruitland, Idaho, and finally returned to 1102 Red Wing Street, Fruitland, Idaho. They traveled approximately 228 miles and was on the road driving around 4 hours and 38 minutes. One note, after Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian returned to the Wondra house, Adrian is not mentioned in going to Kuna to retrieve Brandon's car, leaving Adrian unaccounted for.
This is Sarawondra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. This is Sarah's husband, Staceywondra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. This is Brandonshirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Staceywondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrienluciennetemple, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Staceywondra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian is currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shurtliff and Lucienne to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close.
Michael Vaughn is still missing. More than 3 years have passed since July 27, 2021, when 5-year-old Michael disappeared from his neighborhood in Fruitland, Idaho. In those years, his family has endured unimaginable pain, desperately searching for answers that remain just out of reach. Yet through it all, one thing has never wavered: their love for Michael and their determination to bring him home. Michael has blonde hair and blue eyes. At the time of his disappearance, he was wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue boxer briefs, and sandals. His age-progressed photo shows what he may look like at 7 years old today. Michael is more than just a name in a missing persons case. He is a son, a brother, a little boy who should be playing, learning, and growing. Instead, his family is left searching, waiting, and hoping that someone will come forward with the information they so desperately need. The Fruitland community has stood strong, showing unwavering support for Michael's family. Law enforcement has never stopped investigating, and the search for answers continues, but they cannot do it alone. Someone knows something. If you have any information, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, please don't stay silent. Even the tiniest detail could be the missing piece to bring Michael home. If you have any information on Michael, please call Fruitland Police Department at 1-208-642-6006, Fruitland, Idaho Prosecutor's Office at 208-642-6096, or dial 911. Michael deserves justice. His family deserves answers. Most of all, Michael deserves to come home. Please share his story. Keep his name alive. Keep searching. We will not stop until Michael is found. Justice for Michael. Hope for Michael. Bring Michael home.
He's coming home.
Missing. Summer Wells. Missing since June 15th, 2021. Missing from Rogersville, Tennessee. Born February 4th, 2016. Age now 9. Sex female. Race white. Hair color blonde. Eye color blue. Height 3 foot tall. Weight 40 pounds. Summer's photo is shown age progressed to 7 years old. She was last seen at her home on June 15th, 2021 at approximately 6 p.m. Summer was last seen wearing gray pants, pink shirt, and was possibly barefoot. Anyone having information should contact 1-800-843-5678 or Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, Tennessee, 1-423-272-7121. Hope is why we are here.